Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another week of Latinas Power Talk. I am your host, Kenya Vasquez. I hope you guys are having a lovely, beautiful day. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't already, and follow us on Instagram at Latinas Power Talk so you don't miss any notifications of who the guests are coming up the following weeks. Today's guest is one of my amigas. She's such a girl's, and I am so proud of her and her newest, biggest accomplishment. We are here, if you guys are watching us on YouTube, we are here at her new studio in Scottsdale, and we're going to talk a little bit about it. We're going to talk a little bit about how she got into the business, who she is as a mama, all that good stuff. So help me introduce my guest for this week, Rose from Mod & Co.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me, beautiful.
Thank you for being here. ¿Cómo estás?
Bien, súper bien. Happy to be here.
I am so excited and thankful because I don't think people have really seen the studio yet.
Yes.
And it is up. It is amazing. It's such a cute space that like radiates so much positivity, which is like honestly who you are as a person, but it looks beautiful. It honestly does look beautiful. Like I am so proud of you because I know a little bit about your story and we're going to share that a little bit with our audience, but how does it feel to have something that is your jewelry studio and it's like here in person, you're about to launch it, you're about to open it? ¿Cómo te sientes?
Oh my gosh. Honestly, it's kind of surreal. It really feels surreal to be sitting here in the jewelry studio that will open here pretty soon with you and just on Latina Power Talk. So thank you for the opportunity. But I'm so excited to host, all the muses here and just all the fun, events that we'll have and just the laughs, smiles, and great energy that's going to be shared within the space. I'm so excited.
I was thinking about this as I was prepping for this episode. I found you on Instagram. I don't remember exactly how, but it was like years ago. This was way before COVID. So it must have been like 2018, 2019, por ahí. And I found you on Instagram and I was thinking back of like how far you've come. And honestly, in my opinion, you are one of the first, if not the first, successful Latina jewelry business owners here in our state.
Oh my gosh. Thank you, babe.
And I think opening up this space now that I'm here made me realize too that this is very unique. I don't think there's a lot of people in this business, Latinas in business, who have their own jewelry studio. Like, I don't think that's really heard of.
Yeah.
People have pop-ups, like pop-ups are really common, First Fridays, all that stuff. Or they have like sections at boutiques and stuff like that. But to have your own shop, your own space, that's beautiful. That's huge.
Yes, I'm so excited. Thank you for saying that. Sometimes I feel like we don't really think about the small yet very significant, accomplishments, and
they're not small, girl. They're not small because honestly, this took a lot of hours of work, dedication. So it's not small. It's a big accomplishment, and I want you to know that. But tell me a little bit about what got you interested in this business of jewelry.
Yes. So really, the whole idea was born in 2015. I was still going to college for a business degree, and just I always wanted to have like some type of shop where I can, use my fashion sense to kind of give back to the community and just empowering our girls and men and really everyone with our jewelry is something that brings me a lot of joy and what simple accessories do to any outfit, and then it exudes within your interactions with the community. It's just so special. So I love sharing that with people, and so that's kind of where the idea was born.
And you started based off your house, because I remember the first time that I bought jewelry from you, you were based out of your house.
Yes.
Remember that?
Yes.
In the West Valley. Yes, I went to pick it up at your house.
Yes.
And now you're pretty much everywhere in different spots across the state. Like you're in the West Valley at Terra Cactus. You're at a Mod Collective currently. You were at the Churchill.
Yes.
Now you're here in Scottsdale. Your studio's in Scottsdale, so it's at Sarah.
Yeah.
That's what Sarah.
Yeah.
Sarah, here in Scottsdale. So come and check them out. And then you have you've been in other places too.
Yes.
How did that process start? Because I know you started at home. So how did it get to this point of having your collections be on display in all these places? Like, how did you get there?
Yeah. So really it was more of like looking for, the strategic partners to, you know, partner up with. There's a lot of beautiful spaces here in the Valley, and sometimes, you know, they're looking for jewelry or accessories. And so I just wanted to be in different parts of the Valley, make us more accessible for all our muses. And so kind of started curating some shops that way. And so now we have Peoria, we have Goodyear, we have a few here in Scottsdale, and then downtown Phoenix General. So
and then you're at First Fridays every First Friday. I remember I saw your story. I think it was like maybe 2 months ago, and you're like, this is the first Friday in 6 years, right?
7 years.
7 years.
Yes.
You're like, it's the first Friday in 7 years that I haven't been there.
Yes.
And I was like, oh my goodness, the dedication of like every first Friday of the month being there, putting all your things up. Like, it's a lot of work.
It is. So when we started as a pop-up shop. So we were a pop-up boutique. And First Friday was actually, was it First Friday? First Friday was my first big event. And so I didn't know what to expect, right? So I started at First Friday. It's my first big event. And I love Phoenix, but I really love what First Friday is as a community. You know, it's just a huge community.
It's really special.
Yeah, it really is. And so I fell in love with First Friday. And so obviously it's, you know, always a great turnout. So then I never wanted to miss, even though I wasn't physically there all the time throughout the 7 years, Mod & Co was. So,
right.
That was just really special. And when I missed, you know, 2 months ago, it was kind of hard for me to be like, okay, I'm not going to do it. I'm breaking my streak of, you know, 7 years. And oddly enough, that was actually one of our like most viewed stories.
Really?
Ever. And I was just like,
La gente notó.
I know.
Yes. They're like, what? I'm not going then.
It was, yeah. So yeah, but I love First Friday. It's a great event. It's changing now. Though.
Is it?
So I don't know if I'll be there next month, especially with us, you know, having the studio, because we'll have a lot of time invested here as well.
So I know this story about you, and I want people to hear it because I know you're open about it. So you started this business at the same time of having your baby, your first baby.
Yes.
So you technically had like 2 babies that you were helping raise, helping grow at the same time.
Yes.
Where does that resilience come from of being like, you know what? Like how my mom says, tiene un dicho que dice, like, voy a agarrar el toro por los cuernos and just go with it. You know what I mean? You're like, I'm going to do it. I may be scared. I may not know what I'm doing yet, but I'm just going to go for it and take that risk. Easy. Like, girl, why do it at that time?
Okay, that's a great question. Because, you know, you're growing, you know, baby inside you, your hormones are all over the place. But maybe that had a lot to do with why I was like, you know, I'm going to do it now. Because thinking back on it, I'm like, why did I do that? Right? In a way, right? Why did I put all of that on my plate? But I do not regret it. Like, that was what was meant to be. I really wanted to stay home too and raise my babies. I didn't want to, you know, be working a 9 to 5. I wanted to do something that I absolutely enjoyed and loved doing. At the same time, you know, I wanted to be home and kind of create my own schedule. So really that's what I wanted to be I wanted to be home with the babies as much as possible. So I was like, I have to do this. You know, I can set my own schedule. I can, if I want to do pop-ups, I can. If I don't, then I won't. So that's kind of what like really pushed me to launch, even though we had the business plan for a few years prior to me.
Oh, you did?
Launching.
You had the idea like prior to being pregnant then?
Yes, for sure.
And you're like, es ahora o nunca then?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
No, wow. That takes a lot. Like, I think a lot of people who start or want to start a business, they have that mentality of like, you know what? Oh, it's going to be easy. I get to work whenever I want. But if you're fully invested like you are in your business, like we all know that's not really the case. That's not what happens. You know,
It's true.
You probably work more than 40 hours.
Yes.
Especially if you're like running a lot of things at the same time. Like you do packaging. I'm sure you do buying. You make the jewelry yourself. Like it's a lot of time when you're doing it yourself. How did you like manage mommy life? Because that in itself is like hard of being a first time mom. I've seen it from my friends. I don't know it. And I think if you haven't experienced it, you truly don't understand the process of being a mom for the first time. But how did you manage both so beautifully and so graciously at the same time? Like you made it look easy, honestly. Yeah.
Wow, looks are deceiving,
Yeah,
girls
right?
and boys. It was far from easy, but really because I enjoy, doing this, and I really enjoy the connections that, I make with all my muses. I call, my girlies my muses, which our tagline is jewelry and accessories for the modern muse, So I feel like all our clients are my inspiration, and really just kind of sharing this little piece of me with the community is great and kind of what keeps me going. But it was hard. It really was. It was hard in the beginning, especially, I was a new mom, so I was trying to navigate all of those things on top of, trying to get the business up and going. So a lot of times I was like, I doubted myself, I'm like, is this like really what I want to do? Is this really it? And especially in the beginning, it's hard to get it going, right? No
It
one
is
really
hard to build
knows.
up your audience.
Yeah. That's true.
To have people buying, to have people just like following, commenting, engaging in social media is its world in its own, it's not easy, and you have to keep going. I think the difference, I've heard this once from my coach, and it kind of like stuck with me. And this he applied it to acting, but I think it really applies to anything in life. The only difference between the people who make it and the people who don't is that the people who made it or make it never gave up.
Yeah.
That's really the only difference. It doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't matter. Sometimes, like, anything else doesn't matter.
Right.
Si le echas las ganas, like, it's going to happen sooner or later.
You see. It's true. Yeah, and it's like, I'll just keep on, it's about like, you don't stop, you keep on going, especially when it comes to, a new business, right? It's hard to get the recognition, the engagement, all these things, but really just kind of leaning into our community and all the pop-ups that we did, all that organic following, that helped a lot. But I really enjoy what I do, so I think people will sense that, and they're like,
yes,
we love it,
They do. They do sense authenticity. I've been saying that. Like, si haces cosas con amor and you're authentic and genuine, like, people are going to gravitate towards that. Like, you can't fake things. Like, you either like it or you don't. And to have your own business, you have to fully love what you're doing, because you're going to be putting in that work. You're going to be putting in those hours, going in the rain, I'm sure, like for First Fridays, hauling everything out of your car. Like, you have to have a passion for it if you're going to do it, if you're committed to it.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So did you always kind of have like that entrepreneurial like mindset, like ever since like you were younger, like in college, or where did that come from?
Yeah. Yeah. Oddly enough, I've always kind of wanted, a bar, a restaurant, my boutique. And, so yes, definitely. I've always been an entrepreneur at heart from the very beginning. So it's just great. I also see it in my daughter, Olivia. I think she's going to be an entrepreneur. She's a little Scorpio, so she's going to be a creative.
I'm a Scorpio. I love Scorpios, yes.
So so I think she really is, and it's just great. I love seeing her pick up on all of this.
But she probably also has that resilience from her mama. Because I feel like you're the type who does not give up.
Yes.
Do you have bad days? Porque no se te nota. Like it honestly, you wouldn't even know that you had bad days.
Stop it. Yes, we all have bad days.
Yeah.
And those bad days are sometimes where it kind of like is either going to make you or break you, right? Also how you proceed after that bad day is also like, yes, I'm doing this for the right reason, or no, maybe we need to pivot, or but yeah, we all have bad days, but that I feel like sometimes that's kind of what keeps us going, right?
It does.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, how bad do you really want it? I feel like those obstacles really come to test you and say, okay, do you really want it, or do you want to give up and do something else then?
Yeah.
It's like, no, you have faith in it. Let's go.
Right.
Then,
Yeah.
Keep on pushing.
We're pushing, baby.
We're pushing. No hay de otra, right?
Yeah.
But where did the name Mod & Co come from?
That's a great question. So I rebranded in 2018. I want to say.
So you weren't always Mod & Co then? No?
No. I actually started as Valley Rose, because my name is Rose, and I
Oh,
wanted,
okay.
something with my name in it. And
Yeah.
so I started as Valley Rose, and then in 2018 I actually was like, I want something that's going to look good on a brick and mortar. So I started kind of playing with some names, and mod is short for like modern,
Okay.
And so there was also this like very, cool era like that mod era with what was her name? A model Twiggy. Yeah. So just I was very inspired by that whole era, but also like mod and company, so modern, short for modern. So but mainly it stemmed from the fact that we wanted something that looked good on a brick and mortar. So mod and co.
Fast forward.
Was boring.
Like 6 years later, and here we are,
Yes.
something that's like yours, it's in person, it's not online. Oh, you are still online.
Yes.
But now it's like, okay, you've moved to like what kind of you've been manifesting for so many years, Do you believe in manifestation?
Oh my gosh, girl.
Yeah?
Yeah, I consider myself a master manifester for sure. But you have to work hard. It's not just about, you have to set the intention and then, you work towards those goals. And
You can't just say it and it's going to happen. Like there's things you got to do to make it work, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, so I feel like up until this point, I've manifested all of this, but I've also worked for it. But yeah, I
You
believe
really
in
have.
it.
Yeah.
It works.
It
Wonders.
does. I always say, like, manifesting is real. It's real, but you have to say it and not have a doubt about it at all. Because if you say it and there's like a little ounce of doubt of like, but is that really going to happen? Can I really achieve that? It's not going to happen. Like you have to say it so confidently, like it's already happening. Like, I don't know if that works for you, but that works for me of like, you know what? I am getting that job. I am getting that client. I am getting that next step, whatever it will be, and owning it.
Yes.
And is that how you manifest? Or
No, yeah.
I'm interested to know like what works for other people.
Well, I think it's a great point that you just brought up. It's really like, believing it, like no doubt, right? And sometimes we are going to doubt ourselves, right? That's natural. But really just kind of honing in on your dreams and what you want and your vision for your future will help out. But yeah, you're right. You got to own it.
You got to own it. Like I've noticed like the times where I'm like hesitant of like, oh, I'm saying this, but do I really mean it? Do I really believe it? Like it doesn't happen.
Right.
It's like, no, there's power in our thoughts. I feel like there really are.
Yeah.
Like what we think here is what feeds out into the world, into our reality. It really is. But I remember one time you were saying how you're like really into fashion and how that kind of got you here to this place. What's the ultimate goal? Like,
so right now, I think, now that I'm finally, in the jewelry studio, really focus on that and just kind of, building a community out here and, just in a way figuring out how we can keep it, new and fresh and what activations we're going to have in the studio. But ultimately, my ultimate goal is to have a bar and restaurant. So, that's the ultimate goal after
a bar and restaurant.
Yes.
Wow. You've worked in the restaurant business before, right?
I was a server before.
Yes,
I
yes.
went full time.
That is like, if you can work in the restaurant service industry, like my hat's off to you because it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
People are not nice.
Yeah, you girl.
They're
I did
not.
it for a decade before I went full time here. I got through school.
Yeah.
Yeah, doing, and honestly, it taught me a lot about life though, and it also taught me a lot about like people and how to communicate to certain people. So, I really enjoy talking. Obviously, so
Likewise.
that to me was
Yeah.
like, I for the most part I loved doing it. That's why I did it for such a long time.
I tell my boyfriend this all the time. Do you believe this? Like, I feel like knowing how to communicate gets you places.
Yes.
Like, it's not always what you know, it's who you know.
Yes, it's true.
And talking to people, like, my boyfriend says that I can talk to anyone. And I think that's true. Like, we're at restaurants and I'm like, oh my gosh, like, how do you like your job? How do you like working here? Or whatever. And start conversation. Then you end up knowing so much about the person. And I think that really does help a lot of us out, especially like if you're a small business owner, if you're starting your business, like you don't even know who can help you or who has tips, who is a partner eventually at some point, just because like you talked to that person and you interacted with them and you made them feel a certain type of way, right?
Yes. I love that. I love that you bring that up because I feel like a lot of times it's kind of like a dying practice in a way to kind of
Really?
get out of your like comfort zone and talk to strangers. Or sometimes, people are like, oh, why is this stranger talking to me?
And I also think that COVID came to change things.
True.
Especially like you have kids, especially in like the generation like behind us, like the the younger generation, they were not in school for what, 2-3 years almost. And I think because they were behind a screen, they forgot how to engage with people.
Yeah.
There's a lot of youth that I feel like don't know how to carry a conversation, or don't look at you in the eye when they're talking, right?
You know what, though? That probably happened to a lot of adults, too, because we didn't talk to,
Yes.
people for like a year or two.
I know, we were really isolated.
People were probably like, how do we get back into this whole socializing?
This rhythm. Yeah.
Yeah, because sometimes I feel like I'm really friendly and I love talking, just striking up conversation with random people. But some people are like, oh, why is she like so friendly, or like, kind of like, and it's like, it's okay. Let's just talk. And then they after a minute or two, they open up and they're like, okay, like this is cool. And then, you become friends and connections are made. So
maybe like society isn't used to that right now.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about being Latina and how hard it is to like be in business.
Okay.
Because how many times are we the only Latina or the only woman in spaces?
Yes.
Yes. But how was it for you, and especially in this type of fields of jewelry, being a Latina in business? Like, did you face any adversity or anything like that in the beginning?
So I think in the beginning it was definitely it was tough because I was, starting off as one of the first Latinas, doing jewelry out here. So in a way that it was good, right? Because I was one of the first ones. But also, like, there's a lot of times that I didn't know, am I sourcing my materials? I just had so many questions. And, yeah, there's a certain, level of research we can do, but it's always nice when you have someone that that's in the same business to ask these questions,
to give you that perception.
Exactly,
because Google can't give you that. You know what I mean? Yeah.
So it's still, sometimes we are the only Latinas in the room. I've also noticed that there's been like an increase of Latinas in the room, so that's a nice shift and change, and I think we're going towards the right direction for
we
sure.
are for sure. So how does it make you feel that your daughter, ¿cuántos años tiene?
She's 5.
She's still little, but you already see the entrepreneurial spirit in her? Really?
Yes.
How does that make you feel? Does it add pressure on you of like, she's looking at me, like she's looking up to me, I'm the model that she's going to like, kind of like be influenced by? Like, does that put pressure on you? How does it make you feel that like your daughter may be following in your footsteps one day?
Yeah, honestly, it makes me proud. Like, I'm excited to see what she wants to do, and I do feel like she'll have a few businesses in her lifetime. But yes, I feel like there's definitely that like pressure, to make sure I'm a great mother, a perfect example. But then at the same time, it's like perfection doesn't exist, right? So it's not, perfection isn't something that like I push on her. I push her to be an individual, to obviously chase her dreams, and so it is hard sometimes to kind of balance, like I don't want to work too much and not pay enough attention to my babies, right? Or sometimes I also don't want to like not do all the things that I need to do. And so that balance is a little hard, but she sees how hard I work, and I just cannot wait. It's so special to just watch her grow into the cute little woman she's becoming, and I'm just so excited. I really am, and I think this, her watching me from the outside is really going to help her in the future. And I'm always going to be there for her, always trying to push them, right? If they want to
100%
be entrepreneurs, that's fine. I know my boy James, our oldest, he wants to be a marine biologist, and I think my youngest will probably be an athlete, but
wow,
it'll be fun. Yeah.
Is mommy guilt normal when you're a business owner?
It is.
Yeah.
It's hard. It really is something that like sometimes I really have to, and my husband's really good at like telling me, hey, you're doing a good job, like he's a great partner. So sometimes I'm like, man, I didn't come home till 7, or you know, on the weekends, if I have to do a pop-up, sometimes that's hard for me too. Or if I have to miss the birthday parties, because for, you know, for a couple years, I missed a lot of the, especially starting, you know, I missed a lot of like the important dates. Not our kids, but like our nieces, our nephews,
Right.
you know, friends and family, you know,
Yeah.
parties and stuff, which was hard. But
Especially when like a big part of your business is like going out there on the weekends, right? Like all these pop-up events are really like Mujeres Mercado, or for example, it's like on a
Yes.
weekend. Like all these other pop-ups are like Saturday mornings at a farmer's market or whatever, when like maybe your kid's playing soccer, maybe like it's a kid's birthday party for their friends or something. Like you really do sacrifice a lot.
yeah, yeah, it's true. And sometimes it's, I think that's been one of the hardest parts and adjustments, is sacrificing, you know, some of these big moments, you know, for our family and friends. That was hard. But I mean, ultimately they know how much I love doing this. And, you know, eventually I got to a point where, you know, I had girls, you know, working for me, and I wasn't working as much at Churchill. And so that was always nice
Yes.
to kind
A
of
collaborative effort. Because you
Yeah.
really can't do it alone.
Yeah.
I think I hear sometimes people saying like, "Oh, I can do it all." It's like help and support. You're gonna need it at some point or the other. You know,
You can, but you're going to burn yourself
You're
out.
gonna burn yourself out.
I've done that plenty of times, and now it's just like, no, we need to, you know, sometimes it's hiring is what's hard too, finding people that are, you know.
But it's hard. Have you had this issue? Because I've had this issue with my PR and marketing business.
Yes.
Your business is your baby. Y nadie lo va a cuidar como tú.
No.
Like, and it's hard to really be like, here you go. Let me let you take care of my baby.
Yes.
And finding people who take care of it close to how you would is really hard to find. How do you let go of that? I don't know if it's like an expectation or a standard. How do you get through with that and saying, you know what? I need to hire people. Maybe they're not going to work exactly how I work and give it my all, because my 100% is different than their 100%.
Right.
But how do you let go of that?
Honestly, sometimes you got to do it, because if you don't do it, like, when are you ever going to have time for yourself, for your family, and for all these other fun things that you want to, you know, incorporate into your life? And so that's kind of where I'm at right now, is, you know, finally hiring people to help me with the jewelry again, and pop-ups we're hiring again, because for a little bit, because I took a break. I almost took 2 years where I wasn't really doing pop-ups, or I had the store at Churchill, so I didn't have to do much. So that was really nice. And then kind of getting back into the swing of things, I'm like, I became a little lazy, not gonna lie.
No.
With having all the girls, I was like, this is nice. But also, my girls were like, where's Rose? We want to see Rose, you know? Sometimes, you know, that's really what they're there for, is to, you know, catch up y cotorrear y a ver qué hay de nuevo y todo eso. So that's kind of hard too, is like, you know, doing what's best for me and my family, but also keeping, you know, our girls and, you know, our clients happy.
No, 100%. And I think taking a break is not a bad thing. It's not. Sometimes you have to just have a minute to rethink ideas, rebrand, for example, get energy back, you know, be remotivated sometimes. Sometimes you can lose motivation too throughout the process because you get burnt out. And one time a friend explained it like this, of a setback is not a bad thing. She explained it like a slingshot. So you know, a slingshot, you pull it back, but then when you release it, what happens? It goes further than where it even was.
True.
And
Ooh, I like that.
I think those breaks are needed for that progression, that forward movement. I mean, look at you now. You said you took 2 year break. We're in your own shop, in your own studio.
Yes.
Maybe that break was needed so that you can regroup your thoughts, you know, get everything back in place to be able to be in this place in your life. Don't you think?
So needed. There's no way. Everything happens for a reason too.
Yes,
So
100%.
timing is divine, and so sometimes you just gotta trust that.
You really do.
Yeah.
And one thing I want to talk about, because you mentioned your husband, is how important having like a supportive partner is.
Oh my gosh, I talk, me and my, you know, momtrepreneur friends talk about it all the time, and how important it really is to have that partner that is going to be supportive, because, you know, a lot of times I've talked to some of my momtrepreneur friends that, you know, maybe didn't have as supportive spouses as, you know, as other people. And so it's hard though, it really is. And I feel like sometimes it's like just navigating that, like, you know, imbalance and then trying to navigate the business and all the ups and downs that come with that. It's hard, and it takes a toll on them, and it takes a toll on, you know, the person, the entrepreneur, right?
Yeah.
And so it's really, really important, and I'm so happy and lucky to have the husband that I do, because he really is great. And he's even when it comes to, like, if I'm like, hey babe, I need to vent to you about, you know, this, you know, whatever's going on, he's always like just so supportive, reassuring me that, you know, I'm doing the best that I can, and that, yeah, so it's great.
It's super crucial. I think it's like a hidden weapon, you know, to have like a supportive partner.
I recently actually was like, do you want to become my business partner? Because I need
Wow,
more
okay.
help on the back end. And he's really good with numbers. So I'm bringing him on as a business partner, which is great. Also, when I first started the business, this was my baby. And I was like, no
one
partners.
touch it.
No.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
And so now it's just great. And
But what better to go into business than with your husband,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, for sure.
You guys are already forming a family. Why not form a business together? You know, you guys obviously see eye to eye. That's why you're together.
Right.
Right? I think that's beautiful. That's so exciting.
Yes, I'm excited. He's excited. So I'm like, okay, well, maybe
Let's
you can
do
go
this.
restock Amor.
Right?
Go restock
Yes, go do a pop-up.
Go do a pop-up.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
No, I know. I saw your stories, and he was like helping build like the shelves and everything in here. So
He's been such an angel. He did all the shelves and all the fun things. I'm like, okay, this looks good. Good job, babes.
good job. Yes, yes. I'm sure your family's proud of you. Get the dicen.
Oh my gosh. Honestly, they're super proud, but also I think, you know, sometimes having parents that aren't really used to this life, you know, a lot of times our parents work and work and work until they get to retirement, right? And so
If they get to that point.
yeah. Also,
Yeah.
my parents were very big on like entrepreneurship. So sometimes it's hard for them to understand, right? But they're super proud and always supportive. My mom came into town for a month to help me with the opening of the studio, help out with the babies and stuff. So they're amazing. My dad's amazing, and then so are his parents. They help us a lot with the babies. So we're very blessed.
That's beautiful. It's like a cohesive effort. You know, everyone coming on board and supporting this dream, this vision that you have. I have really quick to finish us off, like some fire rapid questions.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, let's do it. Okay. First, it's a few things that are a little jewelry based. Okay. So, necklace or bracelet?
I think a necklace, because you always need a nice piece to pull it all together. So if you
Okay.
were to do necklace or bracelet, I would do necklace.
Loving the stacked necklaces
Thank
you
you,
have
thank
on
you.
right now. Earrings or rings?
I'm a ring girl, so I gotta do rings. Yeah,
Yes.
earrings. If you had to pick one or the other, definitely the rings. I'm sorry, rings for sure.
Rings, 100%. Yes. Gold or silver?
Okay, so I've always been a gold girly, but recently I've been into a little mix
More
and
silver?
match.
Oh, mix and
Mix and
match.
matching.
Okay.
If you're not like ready to fully commit to the silver, start with mixing and matching. But also, if you're feeling a little edgy, definitely go with the silver. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like that. I'm going to try that this weekend.
Yes.
Yes, girl.
I got you.
Okay. Now, these are a little bit more business oriented. If I can give one piece of advice to my younger self, what would it be?
I would say definitely don't give up on any of your dreams, because you're going to get there, and you're beautiful and you have the best smile.
I love that. I love that. What I want people to know about Mod & Co. is
That really Mod & Co. is about community, and just, you know, how can we empower the community through accessories, through jewelry, and just through, you know, our energy.
Can I say, like, you really make people feel beautiful and feel like themselves. I've seen you at pop-up events. I've seen you at a farmer's market. Obviously, I know you because we've been to get cafecito together and all that good stuff. But I've seen you in your work environment. And I remember one time I came with my friend, and she was trying on pieces, and you don't know her. And she was trying on stuff, seeing herself in the mirror. And you were just like that person who sees beauty within every person, I will say. You, I think, through your art, through your craft, through your work, are making people realize that about themselves. And it just reminded me right now because of what you said.
Yeah.
You know, have you always had that like positive mentality of everyone like just being beautiful in their own way?
Yeah, I feel like, you know, energy and really just being positive is something that's really big within me. And so also making people feel, comfortable, right?
Yes.
Has always been really big. So it's like if we can spread a little bit of positivity everywhere we go, then my job here is done.
Yes. People will not always remember what you said, but they'll always remember how you made them feel.
Yes.
Always.
That part.
That
part.
Yes.
You
I
see?
love that about you. I really do. The thing I'm most grateful for is
my circle. Yeah, my circle has kept me grounded. A lot of like my business friends that have been with me through, even before the business, and all my family have been really pivotal with keeping me grounded and focused on the overall picture. So.
And lastly, where can we see Mod & Co in the next 5 years?
Yes. So, here in the jewelry studio, we want to, create lots of workshops, right? And then in the future, I definitely really want to start helping other people. And, either with mentorships or really, I don't know how that's going to look, but I really want to get more involved with helping the community and how I can help. I've done so much within Mod & Co. I just want to share, what I know.
Share your knowledge.
With other people.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
So that's
just like giving it back to the community so that other people can just flourish in their own ways too.
We're doing real estate, so maybe, a few houses here and there. You guys need some jewelry, some houses, I got you.
Some jewelry and houses. You know the girl. Rose, yes.
But really, thank you so much for the opportunity.
No, thank you. Okay, let's tell people when can they stop by. When is it going to be open to the public? It's like opening,
Okay. So you are actually the first to know. We're going to do a soft opening at the end of this month. So we'll slowly be inviting some people for some VIP nights and just, some fun workshops. But then on the 29th, I believe it's the last Saturday, we're going to do a fun little soft opening here.
I love that.
And then a grand opening in July.
In July.
Yes.
So once this podcast comes out, it's like coming soon. So make sure to go follow your page. Where can they find you at?
It's modco.studio on Instagram, and then www.modco.studio online as well.
Sounds good. Well, thank you so much for just radiating positivity. You really do. This que te conocí, it's like very uplifting, very positive vibes and energy that you give out and you transmit. And it's just beautiful to know you. You're such a girl's girl. Like, you honestly support everyone. People who I know who know you say the same thing about you. And it's like, it's a blessing to know you, girl, honestly. Continue doing what you're doing. I know there's many more blessings coming. I'm manifesting that for you. It's coming. It's all in your hands. It's already on your way to you. So thank you for providing the space, for making people feel beautiful, and for everything you do.
Thank you so much, Kenya. Thank you for having, thank you for providing a space for Latinas. I think it's really important and powerful. And what you're doing, you've had so many people on your podcast, so you're just killing it. So
thank you.
Thank you so
thank
much.
You, love.
Thank you.
And thank you for everyone who supports the podcast and continues to watch it week after week. Make sure you leave in the comments. I want to know where you're from, like where are you tuning in from? Leave it in the comments to start chatting. And make sure to follow us on Instagram at Latinas Power Talk and subscribe to your YouTube channel. I will see you here back next week for another episode. Bye.